Good morning. My name is Frank Grinnell. I've been advising professional money managers and investing in the stock market for over 20 years. It serves as my day job, but most importantly, it is my absolute passion. On Street Views, I offer my daily viewpoint on the stock market in under 7 minutes. I will cover things like the global macroeconomic picture, the mood of the market, company-specific news, secular trends with some actionable sector and stock calls. I hope my insights are useful to you, whether you are a professional money manager or a passionate investor. At Grinnell Capital, we actively manage dynamic stock and ETF models for financial professionals and their clients, as well as individual investors. If you want to learn more about what we do, send me a note, frank@grinnellcapital.com. You can also find more of my insights on Twitter @GrinnellFrank. And now, today's Street Views. Good morning. Happy Thursday, 4th of August, 2022. Green again on the futures. Looks like the Dow wanted to dip a little bit as you get more towards the open here, but nevertheless, it is kind of the chase is still on. I don't know if it feels like maybe it's getting close to running its course near term and take a little bit of a breather here. We do have VIX bid a bit this morning out there. Energy just feels weak to me. Nat Gas had a pretty good move yesterday on sort of headlines that Russia wouldn't be able to get that turbine for Nord Stream 1, the pipeline, which I think is all just kind of a bunch of nonsense. I think they're going to pretend they can't get it so they can only pump so much gas so that Germany and the like can only fill their inventory so much that they'll be in a tough spot for this winter. I think that's their big plan. So still bullish natural gas, all this nonsense. But yeah, natural gas does look the best out of the two. Crude looks like it wants to go lower. It just kind of doesn't act that great. So anyway, just kind of thoughts from over here. Gold relative strength this morning. I don't know if it's increased military exercises over Taiwan or if it's Kramer. I guess last night he talked about gold on Mad Money positively. Didn't see it, but that's what I heard. Anyway, gold relatively strong. Sad gold, I should say. See if it holds 1,800. That's, I think, the big test for gold for now. Before people get nuts about talking about 3,000 an ounce, let's see if it holds 1,800. And then on the earnings front, so Eli Lilly, one of our names we've had for a long time. Quarter wasn't great, just Forex pressures, what have you. Their new weight loss drug's doing well, which is good. And they did get an accelerated review from the FDA for their Alzheimer's drug, which is a good thing. So this thing's not going to give it up. That Alzheimer's drug, if in fact effective, will be probably one of the biggest drugs in history if it does get approved and all that stuff. So Eli Lilly, you get maybe a little profit taking. You'll get some week longs to shake out here, but the institutions are going to buy this dip. And then if you look at interesting in software, so Datadog reported, Fortinet reported, so both those relatively weak versus expectations. Nothing wrong with the quarters. I think Datadog, part of the problem is they're just so expensive, but that stock down a little bit. Fortinet down a little bit more. Fortinet quarter was pretty decent. I think it's more conservatism on the guide, so that could be interesting on a pullback. Keeping my eye on MongoDB. I was on that call, the conference call last quarter, and just management team was just quite confident on their continuing progress that they're seeing out there. So that's, I don't know, it's expensive. I owned it before for a trade. We made money on it. I do want to get back into that thing. But I'm going to be watching that closely today, maybe nibble on it a touch. And then Mercado Libre, strong numbers. Got to look at those margin trends. The margin's starting to get more and more robust. If that's the ongoing trend, and I got to get on that call, that could be interesting. It's expensive as hell, but that's just it's a great company, and it looks like Latin America isn't left for dead. So we'll see. Melly, keep an eye on that. Well, it's going to gap up pretty good. But that could be one over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll probably get a little weakness out here. Maybe that's one to pick up. All right, that's it. Don't want to ramble. Have an awesome day out there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
And now for some important disclosures. Grinnell Capital is a state-registered investment advisor. Services offered by Grinnell Capital can only be offered in certain states where Grinnell Capital is registered or meets required exemptions. Registration does not imply a certain level of skill or training. For additional information about Grinnell Capital, including its services and fees, please review the firm's disclosure statement as set forth on Form ADV and available at no charge at advisorinfo.sec.gov. This podcast is provided for informational purposes only. The information contained herein should not be construed at the provision of personalized advice and is subject to change without notice. This material should not be considered as a solicitation to buy or sell any asset or engage in a particular investment strategy. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss, including loss of principal invested, and may not be suitable for all investors. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. This podcast contains certain forward-looking statements which indicate future possibilities. Actual results may differ materially from the expectations portrayed in such forward-looking statements. As such, there is no guarantee that any views and opinions expressed will come to pass. All expressions of opinion reflect the judgment of Grinnell Capital as of the date of publication and are subject to change without prior notice. This podcast contains information derived from third-party sources. Although we believe these sources to be reliable, we make no representations as to the accuracy of any information prepared by any unaffiliated third party incorporated herein and take no responsibility therefore. This podcast is provided with the understanding that Grinnell Capital is not engaging in rendering legal, accounting, or tax services, and we recommend that you seek out the services of professionals in these aforementioned areas. The principal investment focus of the accelerator model, the strategy, is to achieve strong relative and risk-adjusted returns, primarily by investing and trading in securities issued by companies that focus on the global information, technology, consumer, healthcare, industrial, and infrastructure sectors. These sectors are characterized by robust secular growth, an abundance of both new and maturing product cycles, a high degree of competition that creates the potential for relative winners and losers within a subsector or theme, a high degree of revenues and earnings volatility, rapidly changing sentiment and public perception, significant yet unrealized potential for globalization, and superior relative liquidity. Investment in the strategy is speculative and involves a high degree of risk. The second investment model is called the ignition model. The ignition model is an all-exchange traded fund, ETF, strategy with investment objectives similar to the accelerator model. This model seeks to capitalize on long-term growth trends experienced by the market leaders in various areas and sectors. The ignition model will also seek ETF investments based on cyclical forces experienced in the U.S. and the global economy. This model is also designed to have the ability to offer some downside protection in the event of significant market stress through investments in ETFs designed to take advantage of market volatility. The strategy's performance can be volatile. Grinnell Capital has total trading authority over the strategy. The use of a single manager applying similar trading programs can mean a lack of diversification and consequently higher risk. For more important disclaimers, please visit our website, grinnellcapital.com.